You ever feel like no matter how much you talk, your partner just doesn't hear you? Or maybe you feel like you're saying all the right things, but something is still missing. The truth is, communication isn't just about words, it's about connection. It's about truly understanding and being understood. Too often, when we engage in conversation, especially in relationships, we listen with the intent to reply rather than to truly understand. This is one of the biggest reasons why communication breaks down. Instead of absorbing what our partner is saying, we are busy formulating our next response, defending our point of view, or waiting for our turn to speak. When we do this, we miss the deeper message behind their words. Listening to understand requires a shift in focus. It means being present, tuning in not just to the words, but also to the emotions behind them. When your partner speaks, are they expressing frustration, sadness, or insecurity? Are they looking for a solution, or do they just need you to hear them? Paying attention to these details helps you respond in a way that makes them feel valued rather than dismissed. A major part of listening is removing distractions. If you're on your phone watching television or thinking about something else while your partner is talking, they will notice. Even subtle distractions like mentally preparing a counter argument can make them feel unheard. Eye contact, nodding in acknowledgement, and small verbal affirmations like "I understand" or "tell me more" go a long way in showing that you are engaged. Another important aspect is resisting the urge to interrupt. Many times when we hear something we don't agree with, we instinctively cut in to correct it or explain our side. This can shut the other person down and make them feel like their perspective doesn't matter. Let them finish. Once they have fully expressed themselves, take a moment before responding. This pause allows you to truly process what they said instead of reacting impulsively. Reflective listening is another tool that strengthens communication. This means repeating back or summarizing what your partner said to ensure you understood correctly. Saying something like, "So what I'm hearing is that you feel overwhelmed because I haven't been helping as much around the house. Is that right?" Shows that you are not just hearing words, but actually grasping their meaning. This prevents misunderstandings and helps clarify any miscommunication before it escalates. Tone of voice and body language also play a crucial role. Even if you are silent, your energy speaks volumes. Crossing your arms, rolling your eyes, or sighing heavily sends the message that you are not open to hearing what they have to say. A warm, open posture and a calm tone create an environment where your partner feels safe expressing themselves. Creating a safe space for honesty in a relationship is essential for open and effective communication. When people feel judged, criticized, or dismissed, they begin to withhold their true thoughts and emotions. Over time, this creates distance and tension between partners, leading to unresolved issues and unspoken frustrations. If you want a relationship built on trust and emotional connection, both you and your partner must feel safe enough to express yourselves without fear of negative consequences. One of the biggest obstacles to honesty is the fear of how the other person will react. If someone is constantly met with anger, sarcasm, or defensiveness when they try to share their feelings, they will eventually stop sharing altogether. This doesn't mean they stop feeling; those emotions just get bottled up, leading to resentment. To create a safe space, it's important to regulate your reactions. Even if you don't like what your partner is saying, take a deep breath before responding. Reacting calmly instead of emotionally encourages more honest conversations. Another key element is validation. People need to feel like their emotions are acknowledged, even if you don't agree with their perspective. If your partner expresses frustration about something, dismissing their feelings with statements like "you're overreacting" or "that's not a big deal" makes them feel unheard. Instead, try responses like "I see why you feel that way" or "I understand this is important to you." This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they say, but it does show that you respect their emotions and experiences. Honesty thrives in an environment free of blame and criticism. If every honest conversation turns into an attack or a lecture, your partner will start avoiding them altogether. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," reframe it as, "I feel unheard when we talk, and I want to work on that together." Shifting from accusation to expression fosters a more productive and open discussion. Timing also plays a role in creating a safe space. If your partner is already stressed, upset, or distracted, they are less likely to be receptive to an honest conversation. Choosing the right moment can make the difference between a discussion that leads to resolution and one that turns into an argument. Being mindful of when and how you bring up sensitive topics can help create an atmosphere where both of you feel comfortable being open and vulnerable. Speaking with love, not just emotion, is one of the most powerful ways to improve communication in a relationship. Emotions can be intense, and when they take over, words can become weapons instead of bridges. When frustration, anger, or hurt dictate how you speak, it often leads to defensiveness, misunderstandings, and even deeper wounds. The goal should always be to express feelings in a way that brings you and your partner closer, not push each other further apart. One of the first steps is recognizing the difference between expressing yourself and attacking. Saying "you never care about my feelings" is very different from saying "I feel hurt when my feelings are ignored." The first statement places blame, which triggers a defensive response, while the second shares an emotion, which invites understanding. The way words are framed can either escalate a conflict or create space for connection. Tone of voice plays a major role in this as well. You can say the right words but in the wrong way, and the message will still be lost. A sarcastic, condescending, or irritated tone can turn even a simple request into an argument. Speaking with love means using a calm, respectful, and understanding tone even when discussing difficult topics. Taking a deep breath, pausing before reacting, and consciously choosing words that reflect care rather than frustration can completely shift the dynamic of a conversation. Body language also sends a message. Eye rolling, crossed arms, sighs, or dismissive gestures can make your partner feel unheard or disrespected, even if your words are neutral. Genuine eye contact, an open posture, and gestures that show attentiveness create a sense of safety and connection. How you say something matters just as much as what you say. Speaking with love also requires patience. Not every conversation will go smoothly, and not every issue will be resolved immediately. If your partner is struggling to open up, giving them the space to do so without pressure or frustration shows that you respect their process. Instead of demanding immediate answers or solutions, offering reassurance and a willingness to work through things together strengthens the foundation of the relationship. Choosing love over raw emotion doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means being intentional about how they are expressed. When words come from a place of love, even the toughest conversations become opportunities for growth, healing, and deeper connection. Being clear and direct in communication is essential for a healthy relationship. Many misunderstandings arise not because of what is said, but because of what is left unsaid. People often expect their partner to just know what they need or how they feel, but relationships don't work through mind reading. If something is important to you, expressing it clearly eliminates confusion and frustration, making it easier for both of you to understand each other. One common mistake is using vague or indirect language. Saying, "I wish we spent more time together" is not as clear as saying, "I would love for us to have a date night every Friday." The first statement leaves room for interpretation, while the second provides a specific solution. The more specific you are, the easier it is for your partner to understand exactly what you need from them. When communication is unclear, assumptions take over, and assumptions often lead to unnecessary conflicts. Being direct doesn't mean being rude or harsh. Some people avoid direct communication because they fear it will come off as demanding or aggressive. But when done with kindness and respect, directness actually strengthens the relationship. Instead of hinting, hoping, or getting frustrated when your partner doesn't pick up on signals, clearly expressing your thoughts and feelings makes things smoother for both of you. Instead of saying, I hate when you ignore me, try, I feel hurt when you don't respond to my messages, and I would really appreciate more communication. This approach focuses on your feelings and what you need rather than attacking the other person. Another aspect of being clear and direct is making sure your body language and tone match your words. Saying, I'm fine with a frustrated tone or avoiding eye contact sends mixed signals. If your words say one thing but your actions say another, it creates confusion. Being consistent in how you communicate helps prevent misunderstandings. It's also important to ask for clarity when you don't understand something your partner is saying. Instead of assuming their meaning, simply ask, can you explain what you mean by that? Or are you saying that because you're upset, or is there something else on your mind? Asking questions shows that you're engaged in the conversation and genuinely want to understand. When both partners practice clear and direct communication, it reduces guesswork and frustration. It creates a stronger foundation where both people feel heard, valued, and understood. Every person has a unique way of communicating, and understanding your partner's communication style is crucial for a healthy relationship. Some people are naturally expressive and share their thoughts and feelings openly, while others may need time to process before speaking. Some rely on words to communicate their emotions, while others express love and concerns through actions. Recognizing and respecting these differences helps prevent misunderstandings and unnecessary frustration. One of the most common issues in relationships is expecting your partner to communicate exactly like you do. If you're someone who likes to talk things out immediately, but your partner needs space before discussing an issue, you might feel ignored or frustrated. On the other hand, if your partner prefers quick resolutions and you need time to process your emotions, they might feel like you're avoiding the conversation. Instead of assuming their approach is wrong, try to understand it. Asking questions like, how do you prefer to talk about problems? Or what helps you feel most comfortable opening up can help bridge the gap. Another aspect of communication styles is how people express love and appreciation. Some people use words of affirmation and need verbal reassurance, while others show love through acts of service, quality time, or physical touch. If your partner expresses their feelings differently than you do, it's important to recognize their way of showing love instead of assuming they don't care. If your partner isn't naturally verbal, but always makes sure you're taken care of in practical ways, that's still a form of communication. Cultural and personal backgrounds also shape the way people communicate. Someone who grew up in an environment where emotions weren't openly discussed might struggle with deep conversations, while someone raised in a family that values open dialogue might find it frustrating when their partner isn't as expressive. Being aware of these differences helps create patience and understanding instead of resentment. It's also helpful to notice how your partner reacts during conflicts. Do they withdraw and need time alone, or do they need reassurance and immediate resolution? Some people process emotions internally before discussing them, while others prefer to talk things through right away. Recognizing these tendencies can prevent unnecessary conflicts and allow both partners to communicate in a way that feels natural and effective. When both partners take the time to learn each other's communication styles, it strengthens the relationship by reducing misunderstandings and increasing emotional connection. Instead of pushing each other to communicate in a certain way, embracing and adapting to each other's styles leads to a deeper sense of harmony and mutual respect. Difficult conversations are a natural part of any relationship, but avoiding them only creates more problems in the long run. Many people shy away from tough discussions because they fear conflict, discomfort, or hurting their partner's feelings. However, suppressing issues doesn't make them disappear, it only causes them to build up over time. When small frustrations go unspoken, they can turn into deep resentment, making future conversations even harder. Facing challenges head on is the key to maintaining a healthy and honest connection. One reason people avoid difficult conversations is the fear of how their partner will react. If previous discussions have led to anger, defensiveness, or shutting down, it can feel easier to stay silent. But avoidance only creates distance. Instead of expecting the worst, approach conversations with a calm and open mindset. Choosing the right time and setting can make a huge difference. Bringing up a serious issue in the middle of an argument or when emotions are already high often leads to more tension. Instead, waiting for a moment when both partners are calm and receptive increases the chances of a productive discussion. The way an issue is introduced also impacts how the conversation unfolds. Instead of starting with blame or criticism, focus on expressing feelings and concerns in a way that invites understanding. Saying, "I feel hurt when this happens," is more effective than saying, "You always do this, and it's a problem." When people feel attacked, they become defensive, making it harder to resolve anything. Keeping the focus on finding solutions rather than placing blame makes the conversation feel like teamwork instead of opposition. Listening is just as important as speaking in difficult conversations. It's easy to get caught up in making a point, but true communication requires hearing and understanding the other person's perspective. Allowing space for your partner to express themselves without interruption shows that their feelings are valued. Even if you don't agree, acknowledging their emotions helps build trust and encourages openness. Compromise is often necessary when discussing tough topics. It's not about one person winning and the other losing, it's about finding a middle ground that works for both partners. Being willing to adjust, make changes, and meet each other halfway shows commitment to the relationship's growth. When both people approach difficult conversations with patience and a genuine desire to understand each other, they create a stronger, more resilient connection. The energy you bring into a conversation sets the tone for how it will unfold. Before speaking, it's important to check your emotions, mindset, and overall energy. When frustration, anger, or resentment are the driving forces behind your words, your partner will likely pick up on that before they even process what you are saying. Even if your words are reasonable, the tone and attitude behind them can make the difference between a productive conversation and a heated argument. One of the biggest mistakes people make is addressing an issue while still emotionally charged. When emotions are at their peak, it's easy to say things in a way that feels harsh, dismissive, or confrontational. If a conversation starts with tension, the other person will naturally become defensive, making it difficult to have a real discussion. Taking a moment to breathe, process emotions, and calm down before speaking allows for a more thoughtful and meaningful exchange. Approaching your partner with a sense of patience and respect creates an environment where they feel safe to listen and respond openly. Body language and tone of voice also play a huge role in how a message is received. A raised voice, crossed arms, or eye rolling can communicate frustration or impatience, even if the words themselves are neutral. On the other hand, a calm tone, open posture, and maintaining eye contact signal that you are coming from a place of care rather than criticism. Even small shifts in body language can make a big difference in how a conversation flows. Being intentional about the energy you bring also means recognizing when it's not the right time to talk. If you are feeling overwhelmed, irritated, or emotionally drained, it may be better to take a step back and revisit the conversation later. Saying, "I want to talk about this, but I need a little time to clear my head first," can prevent unnecessary conflict. Giving yourself space to gather your thoughts leads to more constructive communication. It's also helpful to set an intention before starting a conversation. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve with this discussion? Do I want to resolve an issue, express my feelings, or strengthen our connection? Having a clear purpose helps keep the conversation focused and prevents it from turning into an emotional reaction. Being mindful of your energy and approach can make difficult conversations smoother and everyday discussions more meaningful, fostering a deeper emotional bond between you and your partner. Communication is the foundation of every strong relationship. It's not about talking more, it's about connecting better. When you listen with intention, speak with love, and create a space for honesty, you don't just improve communication, you strengthen the entire relationship. So ask yourself today, what can I do differently? Because when you improve the way you communicate, you don't just change your relationship, you change everything.